It has been a month now that Caitlin has been out, and we still don't know when she will be returning to the court, if she will be returning to the court this season.
The WNBA has a problem, and that problem is Caitlin Clark not playing in WNBA games. Now, what all does this affect? The ratings are plummeting. Guys, there's ratings for a couple of these games that are eye-poppingly bad.
The WNBA just got hit with a harsh dose of reality. Life without Caitlin Clark. Ratings are tanking and fast, looking a lot like a Stephanie White play drawn up in crunch time. Doomed from the start. One groin injury later, and the league's historic growth narrative suddenly feels less like destiny and more like something a sleep-deprived intern jotted on a napkin between lattes. Now, WNBA owners are restless. Scratch that, they're furious. They're staring at the TV numbers wondering, is our billion-dollar dream really this fragile? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Without Clark, the buzz evaporates. So here's the question. Can the WNBA survive without its one true ratings magnet? Be honest. When Clark sidelined, are you really clearing your weekend schedule to watch the other stars? Drop your take in the comments.
What are you going to do about it, Kathy? If and when Caitlin Clark returns, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to allow her to come back and get mauled? Are you going to allow her to come back and continue to get fouled? Because if we see what's going on here with the ratings, the owners have to see. And the owners are thinking to themselves, the bubble might be bursting. This bubble might be bursting, and Caitlin Clark being out for over a month is the catalyst to the burst.
Here's the cold truth. The WNBA had exactly one guaranteed ratings formula this season. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. That's it. That was the marketing plan. Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky. No need for fancy ad campaigns or high-priced strategy sessions. Just put the two most polarizing names on the same court 5 times, and boom, instant cash cow.
There was one matchup that this league can consistently rely on to produce massive viewership numbers. One matchup. The Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the league's two most noticeable names on the court at the same time. In fact, they relied so heavily on this matchup, they put these two teams against each other 5 times this season.
But here's the problem. If you don't protect your stars, they don't last. Clark's been sidelined for over a month with a groin injury, the kind that requires real recovery time, not the slap some tape on it and hope approach the WNBA seems fine with. Reese has been out for a week and a half. So when Saturday rolled around and the league's so-called golden matchup was missing both of its golden ticket players, the ratings imploded. We're talking the lowest numbers either team has posted since Clark entered the league. And not just a dip, rock bottom. Couldn't even match last year's already mediocre viewership. Out of sight bad.
I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. She come out and said on Sue Bird's podcast that she's feeling the pressure of not playing in these games, and that Fever Sky viewership fell off the map. All right, a massive fall off from earlier in the year. No Caitlin Clark, no Angel Reese. Now, Angel Reese is back injury? Question mark. Nobody's exactly sure what the hell's going on there at all.
The numbers don't lie, and they paint an ugly picture. That first Clark-Reese showdown this year was a monster. 2.7 million average viewers on ABC, peaking at 3.1 million. That's 115% higher than last season's ABC average. And it wasn't just the names on the marquee, it had everything. Clark battling foul trouble, dropping a triple-double, Chicago getting run off the floor, and the infamous league investigation.
Essentially, Angel Reese gets the ball, Caitlin Clark goes over, does a hard foul, commits a hard foul on Angel Reese. She falls to the ground. After that, Angel Reese gets up. She's feeling super spicy. She's charging at Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is walking away. Aaliyah Boston steps in and kind of stops Angel Reese. Courtney Vandersloot also steps in.
The second meeting held strong, even without Clark. Prime time on CBS at 8 p.m. pulled in 1.92 million viewers. Still one of the most watched WNBA regular season games since 2001 and the 8th biggest in over 2 decades. But by the third meeting, the slide had begun. From 2.7 million to 1.9 million, then crashing to 1.5 million. That's 1.2 million people saying, "Nah, I'm good," and never coming back for round 3. I called it then. 1.5 million was the lowest Fever Sky audience since last year's 1.53 million. And then came Saturday's disaster. Same primetime slot, same network, same matchup. But without Clark, the number didn't even crack 1.4 million. It sank to 1.3. That's more than 500,000 viewers flat out gone. From May 22nd to August 10th, this so-called marquee rivalry has bled 1.4 million viewers. In TV terms, that's not a slump, that's catastrophic. Networks panic over half that drop. Advertisers panic. And you'd better believe Kathy Engelbert is panicking too, even if she'll never admit it.
Several more weeks pretty much puts Caitlin Clark to coming back at the very end of the regular season. If you look at the Indiana Fever's schedule right now, they only have 12 games left, and there is exactly 4 weeks left in the regular season. And the craziest thing about this last groin injury with Caitlin Clark is how it's been covered. The day after she had the groin injury, she was listed as day-to-day, and then a couple weeks after that, then she was listed to being out indefinitely.
Here's the unfiltered truth. Without Caitlin Clark, national interest in the Fever and the WNBA as a whole falls off a cliff. Fans aren't showing up for Stephanie White's chalkboard scribbles. They're not lining up for slow, sloppy basketball. And they definitely don't want to watch the three-ring circus that passes for WNBA officiating. So what's the league's next move? Desperation. Suddenly you hear whispers, "Hey Fever, maybe hint at a Clark return just to juice the numbers." Tease it, dangle it, keep the audience hanging. It's straight from the PR survival handbook, smoke and mirrors to buy time. But here's the problem. Clark's injury isn't one you rush back from unless you're willing to risk rain jury or a long-term setback. And maybe, just maybe, if the league had done its job protecting her from constant targeting, cheap shots, and blatant no-calls, we wouldn't be in this spot. Instead, the refs treat her like a random walk-on at an open gym.
Is there any chance that the WNBA, that Kathy Engelbert saw some of the ratings that I'm about to show you now and said, "Hey, Indiana Fever, can you do us a favor? Can you do us a solid? Can you just tease a Caitlin Clark return, kind of boost these up a little bit? Can you just dangle a Caitlin Clark return in front of the fans' faces, try to boost these ratings up a little bit?"
And don't think this mess only wrecks Fever games. It's league-wide. Sun versus Sky? Just 180,000 viewers. Dream versus Mercury? 160,000. If the WNBA's growth was really as explosive as the league office keeps bragging, those matchups should be clearing 400K, maybe even 500K. Instead, without the Caitlin Clark stimulus package, they can't even sniff 200K. That's what Clark is, a walking economic engine for the entire league. When she plays, numbers soar. When she sits, numbers crater. And the league can't pretend they didn't see this coming. The red flags were there from day one. Their most valuable ratings asset was taking harder shots than an NFL receiver and getting fewer whistles than a spam caller in airplane mode. No calls on landing space violations. No calls on arm grabs during drives. No calls on blatant hacks at the rim. You really think if Clark got the same whistle Paige Buchers enjoys in college, she'd still be sidelined right now? I don't. The Fever would probably be sitting in the top 3, and we wouldn't be here talking about a ratings freefall in August.
That if you fail to protect your stars, Caitlin Clark, if you fail to protect your stars, sometimes they might not be around all the time. Sometimes they might get nicked up. Sometimes they might get dinged up. And sometimes they might get a soft tissue injury that takes weeks, if not months, to correctly heal. And that's the predicament the WNBA now finds themselves in. Caitlin Clark has been out a month and 1 day.